we gonna talk about what Kendall Lamm said about the Dolphins culture compared to the Eagles culture? As the Philadelphia Eagles prepare for the 2005 season, veteran offensive tackle Kendall Lamm is emerging as a pivotal figure after an impressive 2024 season. I wouldn't say impressive. I wouldn't say impressive. He was okay. I give him that. I give him that. Um, where he allowed 0 sacks and achieved a top tier pass blocking grade. Lamb is poised to serve as a crucial backup for both Malata and Lane Johnson. His extensive NFL experience positions him as reliable as it doesn't say nothing. It says he's 30. He's one of the most important Eagles of 2025. He's number 30 on the team. Number 30. There's a 50 what 3-man on a roster. So since him being number 30, it's just like he okay. We're gonna see if he gets some playing time. You just gotta see if Malata get injured or if Lane Johnson get injured. They had Fred Johnson last year, but he signed with the Jaguars, and they got Kendall Lamm just to replace him. So, the funny thing is, y'all remember what Kendall Lamm said the other year? Y'all remember? I'm about to play it right now.
I'm a very simple man. I've seen and watched a lot of videos of people signing their contracts down in Miami. That always fits them. I'm a very simple man. I watched them go out on the beautiful, deck out there and say, Miami Dolphins, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This will be signed, sealed, delivered back to Miami. And I get to step out on my beautiful back porch to the beautiful, beautiful weather, beautiful flowers, beautiful trees. I'm a simple man, so I can tell you I'm very, very appreciative of this. This will be the last ride for me, so to play.
Let me play it back. Hold on. Hold on.
Very appreciative of this. This will be the last ride for me, so to play in Miami and play with good people, good organization, great fans. It's amazing to me to close this football chapter the right way. So, Miami Dolphins, thank you so much. Blessed, excited for year 10. Let's close this the right way. Go Fins. I've seen it.
So I guess we didn't close it the right way. So now he's gonna give it one more shot with the Eagles. Does Vic Fangio have something to do with this? I know he the DC for the Eagles, but I think he has something to do with this. Now he taking shots at the Dolphins, saying that the culture is completely different. Completely different.
And kind of him learning how to catalog, and you talked about Patrick. Everybody's different, but when you reflect back on your own career, what was that process like of getting comfortable with your own routine?
Well, I'll say this. The guy that I was with in Houston was Coach O'Brien. And the way we do things here is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it was very, very different when I was in Houston. That's a New England style. That's everybody's there 5-10 minutes early. The phone was put on the no.
See, he's throwing shade right now. When he was saying this, he was throwing shade at the whole team. The way he explained it it shows like, okay, something happening in the locker room, but he's not going to speak on it. He's showing you the signs right now in this press conference. Let me play it back. Listen closely.
Own career, what was that process like of getting comfortable with your own routine?
Well, I'll say this. The guy that I was with in Houston was Coach O'Brien. And the way we do things here is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it was very, very different when I was in Houston. That's a New England style. That's everybody's there 5-10 minutes early. The phone was put on the no phones in the meeting room. If it came on in the meeting room, you were dead scared. Like, it was just a different environment. Plus, it's a different state of the world. It's a different time. So it's like, from my perspective, they taught us how to be pros very, very early. I was picking Dwayne Brown's mind, Derek Newton, Ben Jones. I can go down to Suafilo, Brandon Brooks. Like, I always want to see their routines. And at the same time,
he said this so the other players could listen up as well. It seems like Kendall Lamm, he's a guy that's going to lead by example, but he not going to go tit for tat with you. He just going to say in the press conference, be real. He talking about his history, telling the young ones, like, this is how I came up. The stuff that y'all doing, it wasn't allowed back then. Now he's with like a old school type of culture with the Eagles, and everything is ran how he's used to running it. And when he got to Miami, everything got completely different. We brought him in because he's a scheme fit, definitely a scheme fit. A lighter tackle, but definitely has some play strength. But man, something wrong with the culture. But the boy saying it's changing, but we gonna see this year.
I had the Vince Wilforks, Whitney Merciless, J.J. Watts, Brian Cushings across the line for me, to name a few. So it's like, and I was fortunate enough to practice against them very early with the ones, so I had to learn shit very fast. And it's like when you break down your film and when you talk to them, you learn, okay, you may have had a good day today, but it has nothing to do with tomorrow. You have to build your Rolodex, you have to see what worked, you have to see what didn't, and you kind of start the process all over again tomorrow. So for me, it was all about, stacking good days, but being very real with yourself, because film doesn't lie. So yes, sir.
True. Film doesn't lie. Film doesn't lie. So Kendall Lamm saying what he said is not surprising to me. It's not surprising. It's not surprising. This is what a fan said about Kendall Lamm when we signed him. The fan said Kendall Lamm played for the Titans last year, right? Yes. He any good? He had a good attitude. It was a decent swing tackle, but there's a reason why we cut him. Wow. He was a solid pass blocker, but couldn't run block. That's kind of our thing. Makes sense. We just signed him. Our O-line is down bad. You could do worse. I remember everyone in the building saying he was a good team player. Per my sources, he's definitely solid. So he's a good swing guy to have on your team, but him being on the Eagles might elevate his gameplay. It might do that. Here we got Kendall Lamm at left tackle. I think Teron Armstead got hurt on this one, and he came in. Good block. Low key on this one, he should have cut him off. Make sure you could turn back this way so he get in front of his face, get that outside shoulder, but he still pancaked him. That's good enough too. Like, he didn't even get to the running back. So this is a very good block by Kendall Lamm. Just threw that way. Look at that, Eric Kendricks. Yeah, that's Eric Kendricks right there. He used to play for the Vikings. Get out my way. Just him being on the Eagles, he gonna be a way better tackle on the Eagles. That's what I feel like, because he already on a team that pretty much has the best O-line. He's gonna be able to elevate his game to a higher level playing with that O-line, and shoot, who knows? Maybe somebody trades for him. He get more money, because he told us that he gonna retire, but he ain't retired. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna go play for the Eagles." That's what he said, man. So, I'm not hating on Kendall Lamm. I love him as a person. I mess with him, but it's just crazy how he calling us out on the culture. It's true, but fam, you say you was gonna leave right after you play with us. Now you on to a new team talking about their culture. So it's crazy. It is crazy.